In this lecture, I will consider the community detection schemes for multi-mode networks. But before going in detail, we first discuss about heterogeneous networks. Heterogeneous networks, for example, suppose you have a Facebook account and you have some friends like F1, F2, then it creates a graph or network. This is a simple network. But now the situation became more complex. Suppose you post some status message. You posted a status message, friend F1 commented on them, and friend F2 likes it. Then it creates a complex kind of network. Such networks are generally called heterogeneous networks. For example, in YouTube, there may be users who post videos or ads. There may be some other users which generally tag those videos. Similarly, users, tags and bookmarks, combination of users, tags and bookmarks, heterogeneous types of interaction between actors. For example, as I discussed in Facebook, you have a friendship network, you send email, leave some messages, then your friendship networks, your emails, your messages combinedly creates a heterogeneous kind of network. Similarly, you write a comment, tag photos of your friends, then such kind of network also creates heterogeneous networks. This all represents the user interaction at different levels. Here the just if we just consider the friendship network, then it is user interaction at single level, but with your status and some other interaction, means comment by other friend or likes or dislike by other friend, creates a interaction of another level. So if we combine all such kind of interactions, then it creates a heterogeneous kind of network. Identifying communities in such heterogeneous networks is slightly tough with respect to identifying communities in traditional homogeneous networks or simple networks. Now we will go through the multi-mode networks. What is multi-mode networks? For example, this is a 3-mode networks in a YouTube. 3-mode means we have 3 different modes. First is user, second is video, and third is tag. User generally tag some videos, user generally post some videos. Similarly, videos tagged by user or videos posted by user, there is a relation. So this is a 3-mode networks of YouTube, where user posts some videos, other user tag on those videos, other user also can post some videos, and you can also tag on others videos. So it creates a 3-mode networks. Similarly, in the general academic publications, it also creates a 4-mode network. The first mode may be papers, where in a paper you can cite another's paper or another will cite your paper. Similarly, researchers generally write papers, or there is a authorship relation between paper and researcher. Similarly, there is a conference or journals. Papers may be related to some proceedings, or researchers may be the member of program committee or maybe the editors. Similarly, the words and semantics used on those research or papers also related to the paper. So we can find that network inside the paper means papers related to each other by citation, also connected to another networks of researcher through authorship. Similarly, conferences and journals, networks of conferences and journals also connected through researchers by program committee or editors or authors. Similarly, papers and conferences or journals are related to each other through proceedings. Similarly, words are related to each other through semantics, and it is also related to papers. So there are 4 different modes which has its own network and also related at a different level with another networks, and there are total 4 modes. That's why we can say it as a 4 mode network. Now, how can we identify the communities in such kind of networks? In earlier, we just identified the communities in single mode, like either identify the communities of users, identify the communities of videos or tags or research papers or researchers or research papers, etc. Here it is important to note that network consists multiple modes of node, and it presents a correlation between different kind of objects, as I discussed here. Now, community detection on such kind of multi-mode networks through co-clustering. Here we use a simple 2 mode networks. 2 mode networks, in first mode there is a user, and second mode I use the tag. So user tag some video, user u1 tag t1, user u1 tag t2 and tag t4. Similarly, user u2 tag t2, similarly user 3 tag t2 and t3, and etc. It is important to note that there is no relation between nodes of the same type, means there is no relation between 2 users, or there is no relation between 2 tags. Now this creates just a bipartite kind of relation. So how can we identify the communities in such case, in such kind of 2 mode networks? For this we use the co-clustering or bi-clustering system. But before going in detail, first we will prepare the adjacency matrix of 2 mode networks. In adjacency matrix, all users are represented as rows of the matrix, and tags are represented as columns of the matrix. Here the question is, why separate rows and columns for user and tags, as it is clear that there is no relation between 2 tags or 2 users. Now, before going in detail, we will discuss about co-clustering. What is co-clustering? It is also known as biclustering or two-mode clustering. It is a data mining technique which allows simultaneous clustering of rows and columns of matrix. For example, in this case, we have two different mode of network. User represents the first mode and tags represents the second mode. And different from traditional clustering algorithm, here our cluster will result in different sets. Every cluster will represent a set of user and tag which are highly related to each other. So this is different from traditional clustering where we represent or use same kind of data or object or actor in a cluster. For example, in this cluster, in this community, we may have some users or some tags in one cluster or community, some users and some tags in another cluster or community, and it is clear that there is no relation between two users and two tags. So we use the biclustering system. Given a set of m rows and n columns, that is m cross n matrix, it is important to note that this is not a square matrix. This may be square matrix, but here it is, we considering that it is not a square matrix. The biclustering algorithm generates the biclusters, a subset of rows which exhibit similar behavior across the subset of columns or vice versa. Different biclustering algorithms have different definitions of biclusters. For example, bicluster with constant values. In this, we will use the matrix like, suppose we have a matrix like this, then every rows and columns will maintain some constant values. Biclusters with constant values on rows or columns, maybe all, suppose row wise constant value means all rows will contain same value, another row say 2 contains 333 another value, another row contains all values 444 another value, and so on. Similarly, we can create a bicluster with constant value on columns, means every column will contain same value. Similarly, biclusters with coherent values means there will be some coherent entries in rows or coherent entries in columns of the given matrix. It is important to note that the complexity of biclustering problem depends on the exact problem formulation and particularly the merit function used to evaluate the quality of the given matrix, given bicluster. Now again to the main topic, co-clustering for community detection. Co-clustering means finding communities in two modes simultaneously. The output, it will output both communities of users and communities of tags for a user tag network. For suppose we use some straightforward approach like minimizing the cut in the graph, then what will be the minimum cut? Here we can apply the minimum cut and it will also generate some community, but it requires some better solution, because minimum cut not always properly define the multi-mode networks characteristics, and we need to consider the size of communities also. So we will use the spectral co-clustering. First, the main thing is spectral co-clustering is the minimize the normalized cut in the bipartite graph, similar as the spectral clustering of undirected graph. For this, we will create a normalized adjacency matrix. In normalized adjacency matrix, here A represents the same matrix as I discussed earlier. This is the matrix A, but it contains total 9 rows and 7 columns. Now we will calculate the normalized diagonal element. We calculate the diagonal element of user matrix. For example, suppose we have a matrix like 2 into 3, then suppose we have entry like and we want to convert it into 3 into 3, then or we want to convert it into rectangular matrix, then we can add some extra row like this. Now our diagonal element with respect to this is this. By using same way, we can calculate the diagonal element or diagonal matrix for the user and diagonal matrix for the tag, and after that we will calculate du to the power of -1/2 for any diagonal matrix. Like the equivalent diagonal matrix for this will be 1 1 0 0, and it is important to note that if you want to calculate the square root of any diagonal matrix, then it will be just the square root of its diagonal element. So it is very easy to calculate the power -1/2 for the diagonal element, and then after multiplying we will get this equation. The next step is, here the problem is our matrix is not a square matrix, it is a rectangular matrix. So we will apply a singular value decomposition scheme for the normalized adjacency matrix. Actually, singular value decomposition method generally transforms the correlated variables into a set of uncorrelated ones that better expose the various relationships among the original data items. The basic idea may be, if we take a high dimensional or highly variable set of data points and reduce it to a lower dimension space that exposes the substructure of the original data more clearly and order it from most variation to the least. Actually, SVD is singular value decomposition uses the theorem based on the theorem of linear algebra, which says that a rectangular matrix can be broken down into the product of some 2-3 matrices or some small matrices. For this, first of all, we will use general or traditional spectral clustering scheme. We can use some spectral. We will first consider some eigenvectors, top k eigenvectors based on k, and k can be calculated by maximizing the eigengap. So first we should consider about singular value decompositions, and for this you can refer the course content available with this material, how to calculate singular vectors or singular value decompositions. So based on this we will calculate the normalized adjacency matrix, and after that we will apply the k-means to the joint communities indicator Z to obtain the communities in user mode and tag mode respectively. This is an example. This is a general user tag relation, and this is normalized adjacency matrix obtained by using diagonal elements of users matrix and adjacency matrix A and diagonal elements with respect to tag, and after that apply the eigenvector calculation scheme, apply singular value decomposition based scheme, then you will get singular values with respect to user and tags, and after that take top k eigenvectors and then apply k-means algorithms. Then it will result in the required number of clusters. Suppose you want k-means with k is equal to 2, then it will represent the two clusters or communities. First communities contains user u1, u2, u3, u4 and tag t1, t2, t3. So this is our first community and this is our second community. And this is second community. Now the question is, suppose we want to extend this algorithm for multi-mode network, then how I can calculate the communities in such kind of networks? Here we used the example of two-mode networks only. Now this is a generalization of a star structure. Actually this star structure is a multi-mode network which contains total p modes. So how can we apply the spectral co-clustering to calculate the communities for multi-mode networks? Actually spectral, here we use the block model approximation scheme. According to the block model approximation scheme, we use the normalized adjacency matrix. For example, suppose we take this relation and calculate the normalized adjacency matrix like this. Minimize the S1 and S2 singular values of 1 and singular values of 2 given sum of normalized adjacency matrix singular values for mode 1 and sum of singular values of mode 2. whole square such that transpose of singular values of mode 1 into singular values of 1 will represent an identity matrix Ik. Similarly, transpose of singular mode transpose of singular value of mode 2 into singular value or singular matrix of mode 2 also represents an identity matrix Ik. Now we can generalize it to a star structure like this. Multiple two-mode networks. In this case, for example, here singular vectors as we represented singular vectors with this relation. In this case, we represent the singular vector of mode 1 by using top left singular vectors of the following relations. Means adjacency matrix A2 S2 singular value S2, singular value adjacency matrix 3 by singular vector of mode 3, singular vector of mode P by of adjacency matrix A into singular vector of mode P, except S1 we consider all. Similarly, for S2 we will use all combinations except mode 2. By using this we can normalize or generalize the star structure by using very similar way. Minimize from Q is equal to 2 to P. This is a central mode, and all other modes 2 to P are different modes. We will take adjacency matrix, singular vector of adjacency matrix of mode Q minus singular vector of adjacency mode singular vector of mode 1 into sum of singular vector transpose of singular vector of mode Q such that singular vector of mode 1 transpose of singular vector of mode 1 into singular vector of mode 1 represents an identity matrix Ik, and singular vector of mode Q, the transpose of singular vector of mode Q into SQ also represents an identity matrix for Q is equal to 2 to P. By using this generalized matrix, we can extend this two-mode co-clustering scheme for a multi-mode networks. This is a summary of how the generalization system works. For a multi-mode network, compute the soft community indicator for each node one by one. It becomes a star structure. For example, like this. It looks like a star structure. When looking one mode versus the other modes, community detection in multi-mode networks, just normalize the interaction matrix, iteratively update community indicators as the top left singular vectors, apply k-means to the community indicators to find the partition in each mode. Okay, thank you.